Hey there, and welcome to the Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise Friday night race. Tonight we're throwing it back to the Fabul Gauntlet Swiss round flags for our community race. It will be a hoot and a half, I'm sure. The Fabul Gauntlet was really where a lot of us kind of discovered Final Fantasy IV Free Enterprise, and it's always nice to revisit that for a little bit. My name is Sheep Launcher, and I'm here in the booth with ex Pancraz. And Pancraz, what are your memories of the Fabul Gauntlet?
Oh, I remember vaguely seeing my first experiences with the randomizer. I joined right after the tail end of the Full Gauntlet finals and semifinals matches and caught some of those live, which made me remember that Final Fantasy IV is a game that I had played once upon a time and made me interested in learning and running the randomizer. And within like a month or so, I was playing URC and LRC flags very slowly. it was it was a good time, and it's really cool to see the Swiss stage of the flag set since I have no experience with that.
Yeah, the Swiss flag's a little more forgiving than the bracket flags that the semifinals and finals were played on. Looking back on those, some legends of the game, Invenerable won the Fabul Gauntlet, defeating Rivers McCown in the finals, and the semifinalists were Moonblaze Wolf and Flurry, and those were certainly exciting matches you can revisit on YouTube anytime. But we have an exciting match for you tonight. We have Garen, Beauty and Discovery, Jay Brunter, and E Ninja 81 on your screen for your viewing pleasure, as well as 5 other runners off the screen. And if you don't remember the Football Gauntlet setup, you have 5 objectives. You need to complete all of the objectives in order to get the crystal, and an interesting set of objectives here.
Definitely. We don't quite have all the tough quests and everything that you've been seeing lately in our tournament flag sets with Adamant Cup and so on, but we have a full pool of everything. We've got a couple boss hunts in the Water Hag and Dr. Luge. We have to find the Darkness Crystal to raise the Big Whale in Troy or in Mysidia. We have to unlock the sewer with the Baron Key. We have to forge, collecting both the Legend Sword and the Adamant Rock. And we have to see who our second starting character is as we get off to the races.
It's the White Hair Brigade, and the King and Queen of Eblin gives us the item, and we are underway. We are glad to have you with us. That is a pink tail that the King Queen Eblin gives us, and as soon as we get the rat tail, we can trade that in, but not for an adamant armor.
No, not for an adamant armor at all, but a tier 7 or 8 item will not be something to scoff at in the long run. We are working under T standard with this flag setting, so we will not be finding anything above a tier 5 item in untrapped chests. So getting a high-powered item from that Pinktail turn-in could be quite useful.
And there are no free characters, I believe, on this flag set. We have a couple people heading to the Watery Pass. Watery Pass, for a lot of tournaments, has been a really popular place to go, but T standard means the flags or the treasure chests are not weighted, so you don't get any extra good loot from going to the Watery Pass because it's out of your way.
Yeah, everything has about the same treasure distribution odds, and that's why we see this divergence here. Some people going to the Watery Pass they know, Garen choosing to go to the high density of Damsian Castle. All the runners finding a couple alright things, maybe not for this party. Few J items, Poison Axe, Rune Axe, odds and ends to maybe help out should we find somebody a little more powerful than Rosa and Edward.
Rosa will enjoy the stack of Sammy arrows that was found in the Watery Pass, but you'll need a decent bow in order to do that, as well as a couple levels. Helping us out tonight, our Intrepid Tracker, Fiery Blizzard, and our Restreamer, Asuka. Thanks to both of them for allowing us to bring you this play. And Garen is going to check out who is on Hobbs. Found an archer bow from somewhere. Will equip poison arrows. That might be enough to take care of whoever's on top of this mountain.
I believe Garen also picked up a black belt in the Damsian basement, which maybe missed, or Edward's wearing it, but we have a Rydia as our Hobbs character instead.
There was a Gaia Drum somewhere along the way to take care of these Dark Imps. But Rydia gets hit hard. You want to get her just a little bit of EXP, get her some more HP than the 30 she starts out with.
Yeah, especially with the Hobbs being an option to maybe pick up an extra summon to be some early game damage. If it's a Sylph, Titan, one of the elemental summons, that could be enough to get the ball rolling and get that early damage that this party is lacking.
And the Dark Imp's hitting just a little bit too hard for Garen. Garen decides to come back for that later. We'll go down the Antlion Cave instead.
Yeah, no fault in doing that. Those Dark Imps are quite punchy, especially with vanilla equipment. Having no big J item to take them out in one go is going to slow things down, and with it being Dark Imps, not a required boss, and with it being Rydia, not necessarily a out-the-gate strong character, it makes perfect sense to leave it behind.
I believe the Fabul Gauntlet was the kind of introduction of the Alt Gauntlet, the kind of flag that allowed, instead of the Fabul Gauntlet being the 6 fights that in the vanilla game you fight upon entering Fabul Castle, replace that with 5 fights scaled from the surrounding area. That really added a lot to the gameplay, and it'll be interesting to see where the Alt Gauntlet ends up here.
Definitely. Not to mention that you get to see all the exciting monsters that you don't usually see with encounters turned off. Those evil masks in the bottom of the moon, trickers showing up every now and again, clappers in the Feymarch. All of those, you don't see them too much, but when you do, oh boy, it's going to be fun.
It allowed Senator Crocodile to become a meme.
Exactly, and we love Senator Crocodile.
I'll vote for him. Jabrun does pick up that Rydia, will get the chance to get the summon from Hobbs, and I believe the Hobbs flag is on, so that Rydia will get a random summon instead of the regular Fire 1 spell.
And hopefully it isn't a Mist or Bomb or Imp, any of those lower tier ones, but it looks like J. Brown opting to skip it. Feels he's strong enough maybe with the Archer Bow Samurai Arrows on Rosa, and hoping to maybe find a little more oomph here in this Antlion Cave loop.
Garen and E-Ninja taking on Ogo Pogo. Just about the best place in the game to find the Nope Noodle, but with a really weak party, still a little bit of a slog. Garen gets through and gets the Sand Ruby.
Vanilla Sand Ruby will be quite nice. That is a gated character check, and we are operating under C standard. So that is the only place, or one of the only places, that we can find the Edge and Fusoya if they are hanging out conveniently in the seed.
Indian Discovery did check out what that summon on Hobbs is, and found the Mage summon. That's a womp.
Yeah, that's not what you're looking for. No damage, just casting the Paralysis spell. That's not going to do it for you. This Odin summon that JTR picks up in the Antlion Save Room maybe could have some use, but it's going to be a little tricky operating under that 50-50.
The Odin summon would have been nice against those Dark Imps, but you can never use it against them.
No, you cannot.
And a ninja hat was found in the Antlion Cave, and that will provide another little bit of impetus onto Rosa, who's quickly, with the equipment being found, turning into a little bit of a physical force.
Yeah, she's kind of all we've got at this moment, but this Cecil on the bed here in Kaipo will possibly help out on that front a little bit. Of course, we have to get him to a paladin first in order to start swinging those big sticks. But if we can pick up a black sword, that can easily help out with doubling the amount of damage that we are doing at this point.
This was one of the tournaments where Cecil really started becoming a real powerhouse, because vanilla agility not on for this tournament, so Cecil in the vanilla game, his agility kind of controls how fast you go. In this flag set, whoever's in the center slot controls, so you can really allow Cecil to be a full power without speeding up everybody else.
And of course, a Crystal Sword swinging on every ATB tick instead of every fifth one can be quite a lot of damage. Not to mention, of course, that Cecil also offers the versatility with cover strats, being able to wear all of that heavy gear, has a decent weapon pool outside of just those big shiny sticks, and of course, solid strength growth to help him be a Zerker or physical damage dealer in the long run for this party.
Yeah, even something like an Ogreax in the found in Antlion Cave makes him kind of a wild swinging, liable to miss, but a powerful weapon.
Definitely. You might want something a little bit better, but it'll definitely serve, especially for this early game where we're operating with charm arrows and an elven bow as our best options.
Yeah, not great, but enough to get by. So Ordeal's most likely going to be number one on our runner's list of priorities, especially since there are 3 boss checks up there, and we have 3 boss hunts going on if you include D-Mist.
Oh yeah, can't forget about Demas, the sneaky extra boss hunt, extra key item check.
Ooh, and Garen encounters a full Blarg. There is no hiding from that opening Mega Nuke from Wyvern, and that will be a hard game.
Definitely, especially since Garen doesn't have the extra XP from those Dark Gems on Hobbs that our other runners have. His Edward is still base level and isn't as fast as the others. This Fabul Gauntlet spot doesn't have a lot of agility, so being able to outspeed the Wyvern and get that Star Veil up is great, if you're fast enough. The Battle Speed 6 should help out with getting it in this go, assuming that the agility works out. I don't know the exact numbers right now.
Did you see an annoying Kaipo item shop, Odin summons for sale, as well as Star Veils? Star Veils are one of those things you don't know how many you're going to need, so you might have to come back and wrestle with that Kaipo lady a couple of times.
Yeah, the true final boss of any Final Fantasy IV seed. The Kaipo lady and the Troya lady is blocking you in, keeping you trapped forever in those towns.
Garen's second attempt at Wyvern going a little bit better, did get that wall up. E-Ninja taken down by Wyvern. Wyvern 2-0 so far.
Although I don't foresee Garen being too far behind getting a win against this Wyvern. 3-0 with that Mega Nuke coming out on Beauty and Discovery side.
Yeah, it's one of those things where Wyvern gets a free shot at you, and then you can take care of it.
It is one angry, nuky jerkbird. And that, speaking of jerk, is another not kind thing to see. Valvalis at the Mylon and Friends spot on Ordeals. This spot has a good amount of physical defense and physical evade. You aren't going to be hitting through there much, outside of with J items and spells.
Yeah.
There is no magic defense at that spot, thankfully.
Yeah, but there's no source of black magic except for a little kid Rydia. So it's going to be a slog. Rosa, who was doing a lot of the damage for our runners, will not be able to bow and arrow her way through Val.
Although aim will penetrate through the defenses at the spot. Now, having Rosa in the center slot won't quite allow her to do that since the accuracy will overflow.
Yeah, another one of those brilliantly coded things where, Rosa in the center slot has a better accuracy because it's easier to aim when you're just going straight at something. And aim also increases her accuracy, and both those increases together make her accuracy above 100, which means it's below.
Looks like E-Ninja and Beauty and Discovery both get through that Wyvern. Beauty and Discovery using the summon counter to get a second Mega Nuke for damage. Didn't quite catch what Ninja did, but only a white shirt from the Fabul King for their troubles.
Yeah. Hey there, Delilah. just a plain white tee from the King of Fabul. It'll be a nice shirt down the road.
But there's still 1,000 miles to go on that road.
And our tracker, Fiery Blizzard, reminding us that Ninja was able to get 3 Star Veils up. Really slowed down that Wyvern and powered his way through.
Definitely. The extra experience coming into play, helping the agility be a little bit better, although maybe not so much for Rydia. She seems to be dying still. But 3 Reflected Mega Nukes is definitely enough to get through that fight, as our runners, Garen gets through the Wyvern as well.
Yeah, so Garen through as well, so Jabrun, the only one who has not tackled Fabul yet. Ninja does check out that Chocobo Forest, and I'm trying to remember if that Chocobo Forest meta was in play during the Fabul Gauntlet. It does seem like a really cheeky check where if you get something good from that forest, you just feel like the smartest person in the world.
I mean, that meta's always in play. If you get something cool from a one-off check, like, you're always feeling great. Like, I know one of my personal favorites is just the one chest that you touch in the Fame March. As you're going down on the 3rd floor, people often skip it because, well, what if it's trapped? And then you gotta rewalk the entire thing, and that's no fun. But maybe, just maybe, you'll get, like, a ninja sword, and that can be a big game changer. Big fan of ninja swords.
Yes. Jabrun picking up an Ashura in the bushes in Silvera. Ashura, a really interesting summon for that Rydia 66% of the time. It does a really nice heal spell on your entire party.
Also, picking up a nice stack of mute arrows from the weapon shop can be helpful if we find the Asura boss hanging out somewhere. Although I think we've got a Elven Bow on Jabrun's side as well.
And I don't know how much, if they are guaranteed, but one item that I believe is available on S Standard that would be really helpful against this Valvalis are vampires that deal damage to Valvalis and also heal you up. It's really effective against those weak spells as well.
100%, and it'll do a solid chunk of damage. Like, they aren't necessarily guaranteed, but there are still a number of item shops that we haven't checked. I don't believe Jabrun has visited Troya, either the pub shop or the main shop yet. Actually, those might be the only 2. I think we've seen all of the others.
I believe so. And I don't remember having seen them. At least one runner has been to Mysidia and Silvera, and nothing there. And E-Ninja, realizing that Valvalis is blocking his way, going to take a couple of random encounters here.
Yeah, don't necessarily dislike this. You've got a way to kill them. You've got a handful of Cure 2 potions. You have a Rosa with some power behind her. The big thing is just making sure that she isn't necessarily in the middle slot when you do go to town on the Valvalis. That way you can abuse the aim command and get through Valvalis' physical evades.
Yeah, put that Eddie in the middle slot. Eddie and Rosa, at this point, their agility should be similar enough that you're not losing all that much. And put Rosa in the top slot so that she not only can utilize that aim command, but also gets first in the turn order.
Although it looks like first in the turn order isn't working so well for Beauty and Discovery right now. This Valvalis getting a lot of rays, a lot of weeks off, slowly chipping down his party.
And Garen having a really rough time. In Baron Inn, got through Officer Soldier, the Kaipo guards, in the first spot, but then Dark Elf in the second spot hits hard. Especially in that second phase, and the magic, not anything to scoff at. And there's a vanilla D-Mist Garen discovers.
Our tracker Fiery Blizzard was just talking in the chat with the Valvalis and with the Wyvern. We know that our underground access is either in that Baron Inn or this D-Mist, and well, hey, or a cheeky D-Mist rather, quote. And here's that cheeky D-Mist hiding out in its vanilla location. This could be that Magma Key we're looking for. It could be a hook, which gives us a extra character check to try and get through that Valvalis. Could be absolutely nothing.
Maybe. But a hook here would not only give an extra character check, but it would allow us to turn that pigtail and maybe get some nice piece of equipment to help this along.
And I feel like a Bahamut summon might be one of those top things you're looking for. A shiny sword wouldn't be bad, but...
Ooh, go fetch!
Alright, well, it's not absolutely nothing. It's not outright a Magma Key. That's a black sword in the bushes, though, for Garen. That could be nice. But that Earth Crystal does represent 2 character checks, 2 boss checks, 18 additional treasure chests. We'll see. We'll see where Garen's going to plan to go next.
I think
opens a lot of routing options.
I think Garen will definitely want to rate that treasury and raid that treasury. But Mist stacked in the bushes, not only the black sword, but also a rune axe and a bandana.
Not bad. It's your Sid and Kane hit things starter kit.
And Garen is not passing go, not collecting $200, going straight to
Raid that treasury!
Alright, so what do we got?
First row of 9 doesn't offer a whole lot, an Ice Brand, a Silent Staff, but the Dragon Whip, Aegis Shield, extra Ice Brand, and Sorcerer Robe in the second row tries to salvage things and makes that treasury, overall, not bad.
Not bad.
Is it amazing? No, but it's not bad.
Yeah. I'll give that a 5.5.
For T standard, definitely. Not to mention, of course, the Dragon Whip does offer a potential extra physical damage dealer with that Rydia.
Yes. And the Public Treasury also has an Assassin Dagger and a Rune Ring, so overall, not a bad haul at all.
No, not at all.
Beauty and Discovery and Jabrun trying their hands at this Dark Elf. And they are offended that anybody with such poor grammar would take up residence in the Baron Inn.
Looks like Jabrun is taking it explosively, throwing a large stack of bombs that he purchased somewhere along the way.
And the change to the dragon form, this will be really dangerous because this spot, although slow, hits hard, and the dragon form is very physical.
Definitely. Thankfully, it only punches every other attack, instead taking a turn to do Deep Breath and do a quarter of your hit points in elemental damage. But those punches are going to kill people. 333 damage to Edward takes him out. Deep Breath comes out.
Yeah, the D-Breath really does leech HP from the party that they can't really afford because they're going to get one shot anyway. Although that Rosa in the background, yeah.
That'll be a fantastic thing for this fight. Rosa also has enough HP to take a deep breath if one came out, but it's not needed. Jabrun is through the Dark Elf, and we get to find out where's our underground access.
Yeah, that was very nice. That is a pan. That underground access is through the Earth Crystal.
Oh boy. Vanilla D-Mist giving us the fun.
It could also be behind Valvalis, but we know that that is not the only way underground.
That's true. It's not necessarily the logical, and it's not the only way, but it could still be a way. Or maybe it's a boat.
It would be really, really interesting if Valvalis held the Magma Key and the Earth Crystal held the hook.
That would be fun. And depending on who the character on the hook route was, that could be some really interesting divergence.
Jade Brown gonna head back to Ordeals. Either wants a paladin or is not thinking about the logic of Valvalis being up here. Or wait, Jabron hasn't been to Ordeals yet.
I don't think so.
So he doesn't know. But he does have 2 Edwards, so he must feel like he can take on the world.
Definitely. The power of spoons and friendship will easily take out this vow, as well as maybe some bombs if we still have some of those. But that Rosa is also well kitted out: ninja hat, black belt, archer, bow, mute arrows, and is not in the center slot. Will be able to do some solid damage.
We want to welcome in the Raiders joining us from the Borzoi. We are running Fabul Gauntlet, Swiss round flags tonight. The Fabul Gauntlet, of course, the tournament that started in February 2020, if you remember from that time. It's a 5 objective flag set. You have to complete all 5 objectives in order to get the crystal to defeat Zeromus at the end. Nobody has done an objective yet. We still are trying to find our way underground. We think that our way underground is behind the Earth Crystal, which was behind the D-Mist.
Which Beauty Discovery has found and just taken out. So we'll be grabbing his Earth Crystal momentarily as everybody else converges on Ordeals.
Yeah, D-Mist was in the vanilla spot. Now with the Swiss flags here, are we going back to the old yellow screen if you exit out of Mist Cave?
I think that even if our flags are retro, our version isn't.
Sometimes I miss that yellow screen.
Yeah, but there's no more yellow on Garen's screen. He gets through, or rather, Garen gets through the Valvalis, takes a 10 stay to get ready for the Mylon C spot boss.
Yeah, very nice fight by Garen there, and definitely a worthwhile safety save. No valor in being foolish. And that is required.
Yep, Dr. Luge, our second objective, will need to be defeated in order to defeat this seed.
Don't you hate it when somebody runs up from behind you and just starts talking at you?
Oh, it happens all the time.
Like, just leave me alone.
And, sometimes you turn around and you engage them in the conversation. They've got something fun to say. And then other times they just say, grrr, and there's nothing. There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Like, give me something to work off here, Balnab.
Yes, and? Balnab never says yes, and. Terrible partner.
Nope. It's all one-sided conversations, and he's always going on about his oil. I don't know. Like, Luge at least sometimes offers something to contribute to the conversation. Sometimes, keyword.
Gary
Luge's kicked off screen.
And Jabron got through Valvalis the first time of asking and is immediately on to Dr. Dialogue himself.
The large stack of bombs, the extra strength boosting gear and levels on his Rosa definitely helped out in getting through that.
So Pancrez, if you were running this seed, there have been quite a few kind of roadblocks so far. What would you be thinking if you were in one of these runners' heads?
Oh, number one, I'm thinking everybody has these roadblocks, so the seed is just mean. Everybody has to deal with this party, has to deal with this vow, has to deal with the wyvern. So, 1 or 2 stumbles against them, that wouldn't feel too bad. That said, I don't think any of our runners have gone shopping in Troya necessarily, so I think if I'm in any of their shoes, I'm hoping that there's no vampires or sylph summons available in Troya Cats or in the Troya shops. And I'm hoping that this ordeal's reward is worth it.
That's a hook! And that means that the Earth Crystal leads to the Magma Key one way or the other.
Now, you mentioned it would be fun if the Magma Key was behind Val and the hook was behind the Earth Crystal. We've got it flip-flopped. But that hook represents a lot of interesting things. It's the extra character check. It's 2 tier 5 items in the item shop down there, which could be a Leviathan summon for this video. It's a lot of extra chests, admittedly unweighted ones. And it's 2 extra boss checks for that water hag.
That's right. Yeah, our 3 boss checks in the beginning have quickly dwindled to just 1. Garen taking on Mylon Z, who has come in from the cold outside. Remember, if you're cold, they're cold. Bring Mylon Z inside.
It seems like Garen really can't stay. Will be becoming a paladin and leaving this mountain behind shortly.
And Beauty and Discovery taking on the first boss here in the Tower of Zot, and that is CPU. Really annoying for this party at this spot.
Definitely. Admittedly, we've got the Rosa to do some semblance of damage, but it's going to be slow going.
Yeah. Yeah, and Beauty and Discovery has to be thinking, how long can I stick this out? How long is going to be worth it?
How long is too long, and do you have enough arrows to chip through this slowly?
Yeah, the Chocobo mistargeted there. Worse than nothing. And Garen immediately going to get that hook. Will probably be off to the Adamant Grotto. No, going to go directly to get the character and check out what's on this hook route.
Well, knowing that that this can't necessarily be your only underground access, I kind of like doing this first, so that way you can leave the hovercraft at the Adamant Grotto, should you find the rat tail later on in the seed. Don't have to worry about moving it back and forth and back and forth and back. Not to mention, this could be the more immediate power spike. There it is, the Leviathan summon is for sale in the Hook Route shop, which would definitely speed up the CPU a little bit.
For sure. Leviathan does a whole bunch of water-based damage, puts most bosses through the car wash. Garen picks up some Bacchus wines as well. Did Garen actually pick up that Leviathan summon?
I'm not sure.
And curse rings and black shirts for sale. The hook route's got quite a bit in the shops.
It's got it all. We've got anchoring, we've got damage, we've got stat boosting gear, we've got a character to be determined. And Jabrun, turning the pink tail, has a Dragoon Spear as his tier 7 reward.
Kane's not going to show up, is he?
Nah, I think he's guaranteed, but whether he's guaranteed at the end of the giant or guaranteed on this hook route, who can say?
Yeah. Well, Garen going to make that discovery and finds a Yang, and not the character you're looking for there either.
No, we're looking for a powerhouse, and Yang, he's pretty good. He becomes pretty good later on in the seed. It's not so great at level 10. And he's not so great trying to punch a back row orb.
No. And I did not see who the second boss on the hook route is.
It was an Odin.
Ooh.
That will be waiting for us at the Rubkin spot, should we ever have to go down there.
And Garen at least going to start limbering up. Maybe thinking, you gotta... it might not be the only way down, but it is a way down.
Or with the Ice Brand equipped and that curse string, you might be looking for... Oh, extra curse string too. Might be hunting for that Staleman chest. Maybe trying to spike a extra shiny stick for Cecil. Although skipping a couple chests might just also be looting on the way out, trying to get enough money to get that Leviathan summon that they initially skipped. Nope, there it is.
Jabrun is definitely on the lookout for a nice shiny item in Ebony Castle, taking on the Mad Ogres.
Not to mention a solid amount of experience points for the space level Sessa.
And Beauty and Discovery, it has a discovery of a really long Windows update. The CPU fight taking a while.
Not a lot of beauty in this fight. But the CPU has been being whittled down for quite a bit of time. We should be in the back half of the fight, at the very least. We should see it falling over, hopefully, not too long from now.
Staleman gets an Hourglass, which is not the X-Cal that I'm sure they were hoping for, but is a nice item, will have one particularly relevant use.
That said, Garen does skip the item shop on the way back out, electing to not pick up that Leviathan summon, but I also don't think that Garen got Rydia, if I'm remembering correctly.
Correct. Garen tried Mount Hobbs very first thing in the seed, did not succeed, and left her there.
Well, you can't mourn what you never had. Rydia will get to remain on Hobbs, the Leviathan, and maybe that's probably why Garen didn't buy that Leviathan summon. They started to, then realized, wait a minute, I don't have the Rydia. Rydia's not going to get any levels before I go up this tower. No point in wasting those 40,000 gold.
And Jabrun ran into a little bit of trouble and wiped on those Mad Ogres. Gonna try it again.
They are quite punchy, deceptively so sometimes, without having any giant or mage resistance.
Both E-Ninja and Garen heading up the tower, trying to see if the Flame Dog is someplace relatively accessible. I do like searching for the Flame Dog here.
Definitely. Represents a little bit of XP, a chance to spike a strong sword, or other piece of equipment for your party, and it's on the way,
And not a terribly difficult fight.
No. But, speaking of difficult fights, Beauty and Discovery is through that main CPU orb, just has to take out this attacker. And we will get to find out what else awaits us in the Tower of Zon.
And Beauty and Discovery is showing what determination can get you through that CPU. Well done.
Perseverance, plucky stick-to-itiveness, gumption, and a crystal ring for Garen from that Flame Dog.
Yeah, they got a crystal, both E-Ninja and Garen did. Not the crystal maybe they were looking for, but a crystal ring, really nice.
Definitely.
And our tracker, Fiery Blizzard, pointing out that we know who won't be at Zatsu. Golbez cannot gate any further progress here.
Yeah, but,
Ooh. That will get this seed kickstarted.
The man, the myth, the mop waits for us in Zot. That will be a solid power boost, assuming that we have a couple bosses under our belt in order to get through some spells.
Which most of our runners do, and I believe Beauty and Discovery has at least a couple as well, so should have something going.
Yeah, something. Speaking of something, Porum as the second character. She's something. It's a lower agility anchor than second Edward, so.
Well, the second Edward is taken up by the mop, and there's just no room for Porum. Sorry.
Well, we know this can't be Golbez. That isn't to say that it can't be something else rude.
Ooh. That is rude.
Just a little odd. Looks like Fusoya has 1,200 hit points, should be sitting on some kind of spell there. Let's take a peek in this menu. I see Virus, I see Ice 2, Lit 2.
Yeah, that virus will be the best of that spell list. definitely better than anything that Beauty and Discovery had going on before.
And our tracker mentions this would be much worse if there wasn't a Foo. I agree wholeheartedly. Like, with the power that we've had, with that CPU fight draining so many resources, like, unless it was Edge up here, this fight would be real bad.
Yeah, I could not imagine taking on this evil wall with two Eddies, DKC and Rosa and Rydia. That would be
That would be rough.
Yes, it would.
But instead, we have the power of Virus. We did 2,000 damage on the last one, 1,700 on the first one. This might do the trick. Ooh, just a little shot.
Yeah, but one of the things about Fu, not only, is he got endgame spells, but he just has a pile of HP even in this weakened spot, which gives Evil Wall something to target.
Definitely. 1,200 isn't anything to scoff at when you're taking 300 or 150 or so a punch. You'll be plenty. And the fourth virus takes out the Evil Wall, crumbling to dust.
Comes crumbling down in the wall. Goes rumbling in the wall. I did not see what Fu gained there, but Beauty and Discovery will gain this item, and it could be another part of a chain, or it could be the Magma Key itself.
Oh, we know there's only 4 options? No, because you can't have the Rat Tail be it, since the hook will be gated. Has to be Baron Key, Twin Harp, or Magma outright.
It is the Twin Harp!
Continue your chase, Beauty and Discovery. You don't get to go underground that easily.
Go fetch!
I mean, it might be faster to do the hook route. Going out on a limb here. That said, this Fu is going to speed things up. It is going to speed things up a lot, though maybe not so much here at the Twin Harp.
And Beauty and Discovery says, in for a penny, in for a pound, going to go after this Twin Harp. And E-Ninja and Garen taking on that CPU behind. But while these fights are ongoing, do want to thank our restreamer Asuka, our tracker Fiery Blizzard, and thank you to X Pancras, my co-commentator. This has been a delightfully rude throwback seat so far.
Oh, this has been a blast, Sheep. Thank you for joining me as I try to remember how to say words sometimes. And for our
it's not easy.
For all of our work, we get to enjoy some music in a little bit.
Wonderful. Beauty doing some looting down here. Again, this is T standard. So the loot in Cave Magnus, not demonstrably worse than the loot anywhere else. So you get some treasure chests all throughout, and you might pick up a decent tier 5 item or two. Garen gonna pick up a mop. Mop.
And with a couple extra spells, might be a slightly higher quality mop than Beauty and Discovery picked up.
Jabrun continuing his trek through Eblin Castle, and again, just having a little bit of a rough time.
Yeah, some rough targeting, some rough paralysis spells. Looks like Cecil shrugs it off, stands up, will attack this Lamia. It is enough to take it out, and it gets a little bit extra XP, and hopefully, for him, a cool item. Well,
nice spear.
Gungnir Spear isn't a bad item. Oh, it looks like Garen also has 1,200 hit points on their mop.
From Dance Dance Revolution, a fast track but a slow fight. Plague really annoying there, but Beauty and Discovery makes it through, gets the Magma Key. Meanwhile, Garen got Nuke on Fu and also found the Water Hag in the waterfall.
We've flown like a butterfly, we've stung like another butterfly, we exit out of Cave Magnus, Magma Key in hand. Ninja continues to fight CPU, opting to berserk that Rosa to get through. J-Brun finds the Yang, finds the Odin on this hook route, but has to go through and find that Vanilla D-Mist in order to find the underground access. Unless he's planning to just force through this hook route.
Yeah, could be looking for the D-Mist or the Water Hag on the way down here, but he won't find it.
No, both
so
of them
all
hiding
three
on the overworld.
Yeah.
On the overworld. Oh, that's a nice relief off of our runner's shoulders, I'm sure. A whole bunch of objectives, or rather boss hunts, to not worry about through the rest of the seed. Now we just need a bunch of key items.
So what boss at the first spot would make it quicker to do this hook route rather than the long chain to lead to the magma key?
Good question. We have the 1 hourglass. Maybe a Baron Guards would be quicker. Although I'm not sure because we don't have like a strong Thunderclaw wearer to get through that Odin real quick. Unless we're gonna be Thunder Striking with Eddie.
That would be fun. Very cheeky.
It would be fun. I'm ready for it.
Beauty and Discovery going to check out the armor shop in Agar, probably looking for a cursed ring.
Yep, has not picked up the hook, or rather has not completed, what's it called, ordeals to get that hook. So it doesn't know that they're sitting right there on the hook route.
Let's get that self summon. Should we listen to this music again?
I think we could.
Behold the power of Nuke.
It's a pretty good spell.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Speaking of not bad, Beauty and Discovery whacks Yang on the head and gets a legend sword for his troubles.
Yeah, that pan from Baron Inn, very much required.
You know, you were talking about things at the King Queen Evelyn spot. That wouldn't be bad. How about karate?
Yeah, not bad at all. Karate, especially with a paladin, Cecil is pretty much free. And Beauty and Discovery does get the spoon from his trek down into the land of summon monsters.
Well, that's not quite ideal. We are not playing with the spoon flag tonight, or in the next week of Fabul Gauntlet Swiss flag races. So that is unfortunately just a dart, not Edward's ultimate weapon.
And nobody can throw it.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it is to throw a spoon, but apparently it's difficult.
I'd believe it. Like, have you felt the balance on some of those spoons? They just kind of go... It's terrible.
Beauty and Discovery gonna check out who is in the Fey March to fight. That's one free and one not free.
Yeah, that's something that you don't want to be coming within 10 feet of. That ant lion. Whew. We do have cover strats, but... Well, actually no, Beauty and Discovery does not have cover strats. Has not completed ordeals yet. So, you know, I think we're going to leave that one alone.
But is going to take on that Bahamut, it looks like.
Not a bad fight. It's free, assuming that we've bought a couple extra Star Veils where that Fu has the wall spell. Should be fairly quick, fairly safe. Although Fu seems to be a little mopular right now.
Yeah, more mopular than normal. Really putting the squeeze on. Deep in the bucket.
Yeah. Gonna have to rise and shine sometime, but not right now. Mega Nuke goes off. Rosa tanks it with her face.
And this is one of those, stop hitting yourself, Bahamut. Stop hitting yourself.
Stop counting, too. Just hit yourself.
Bahamut just wants to teach us what we need to know. Garen gonna take on Dwarf Castle before going through the pan check. An interesting play here, but with Nuke Fu, must be really confident and with good reason. And finds a purple robe back here, which means you know what that means. Come on in, come to the place where fun never ends. Come on in, it's time to party with Mylon and friends. Mylon and friends.
An electrifying experience that is sure to shock your souls.
Beauty and Discovery does make it through the final countdowns. Gets a Zeus Gauntlet. Will be really nice for that Cecil once Cecil upgrades.
Definitely. Or for Rydia once we go to Dwarf Castle. Wink? Nudge? Maybe?
Yes, just what Rydia needs, a Zeus Gauntlet.
We've got a Dragon Whip. She's doing damage.
Yeah?
And also, I'm obligated to promote Rydia after I definitely did not get rid of Rydia multiple times in my last playthrough.
Rydia, hit things.
Oh, we're at Oh, no. Keep the Dragon Whip on. Let her hit things.
Oh. Silence, staff.
I mean,
Beauty, you never let her have any fun. She just wants to have fun.
I don't know. She had a lot of fun beating that CPU to death with the Dragon Whip. Maybe Beauty said, that's enough. That's enough fun for Rydia.
Jabron going for Thunderstruck strats against that Odin. Not quite make it.
No. Having a relative agility 5 Edward, having him as your anchor, makes that a little difficult, as well as not necessarily having slow casts. But resets up the party to maybe get through it this time around, as Garen finds the Magus Sisters at the second button Dwarf Castle, which we knew about because of the Earth Crystal. I forgot.
Was foretold. One of the fights that you can't just nuke your way through, but luckily Garen has Quake.
It's a good spell. Also has an edge as the character from Dwarf Castle. We'll be able to use that spoon once Garen goes down to the Feymarch.
And now Garen just must sit and watch while the hand inexorably goes to the crystal.
No, just step on it. Make it stop. That's a key item check.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, if you've hit a bat with a tennis racket, you could probably take care of that hand.
Well, I have not hit a bat with a tennis racket, so I don't think I can take care of the hand. But Garen takes it out, gets a white spear for this Dwarf Castle check.
And that'll be something else for Edge to throw, because, again, Kane doesn't seem to want to appear.
Nah, we said it earlier, he's waiting, he's vanilla, he's in the giant. Wait.
The ultimate betrayal.
Carrots.
He doesn't even appear.
Carrots, Garen.
Ooh.
No, go back. Buy the carrots, please. They're just right there. It's
you don't want to confuse the
carrots,
whistles.
4,950 gold. You've got plenty.
And a Sammy bow for Garen.
Good items.
Yeah.
Alright, Jabron has the unhide timing. Sword is raised. We prep the Zeus Rage.
Under.
You've been hit by.
Thunderstruck! Well done by Jabron.
Definitely gets through this hook route. No Magna Key needed.
And is just going to put a bow on it by avoiding the pitfall. He's gonna do it.
Yep, just turn back around, go get your Magna Key. There's no need to do this pitfall. Scary pitfall. It's gonna fall. You might hurt yourself.
Yeah,
Dodge
just
it,
step
Jabron.
right over.
No.
No! Ah! I thought he was gonna do it.
It's hard, man. Every time. It's like they don't listen. It's like they can't hear us. I don't get it.
Oh, well, if Jabron does want to climb back up the tower, he'll get a chance to play with some dolls. Calbrena is the boss at the top of the tower. Hasn't found the tower key yet. Does have a lot of other checks to make in the underworld because he does have that pan and Dwarf Castle available. But you know what I say, Pancraz? Tower, Keyless Tower, always the play.
It's always the play, or so it feels whenever you skip it.
Yeah.
And it might be the play in this one. We are quickly running out of, like, we have Sheila 1 and Sheila 2, the Found Yang and Turning in the Pan check. We have that top of tower. We have that antlion that we're never coming back to.
Never.
We have 3 checks that might give us progression. This Dwarf Castle we know isn't one of them. And this Valvalis that Ninja is coming back to with some more levels isn't another one.
Jabron going to venture down into the Self Cave, find his legend sword. And we'll see who is the first to venture back above ground to check out if Sheila has the goods, which in the Fabul Gauntlet, maybe it was just confirmation bias, but it always seemed that Sheila had the goods.
Well, I mean, it's Fabul Gauntlet, Sheila's in Fabul. It makes sense.
Yeah. And especially now, it's 2 more checks pretty free. Good chance that Sheila has a chaining item as well, especially that Baron Key, which is required.
Yep. Not a lot of non-chaining items left. Plus, for Beauty and Discovery specifically, there's also that looming ordeals to get through. Going back above ground represents 3 key item checks to get through. And maybe, with it being T-standard, by the carrots, we'll get something nice from Sheila.
Garen going to discover the very punchy boss and the very blargy boss.
Well, we've dealt with a punchy boss and a blargy boss already. What is a very option, or a very modifier to both of those?
Ninja does get through that Val on his way to Dr. Luge. This doctor not making house calls, but is making mountain calls.
Still, no good at conversations. I figured you'd have new material by now.
I think that Balnab should be good at yodeling. That's my headcanon.
A foreign service.
What was the job dwarf, Pancras?
I caught the first 2 words, foreign service, but I didn't catch the rest of it. But we thank Beauty and Discovery for checking.
Chat, telling us a foreign service peacekeeping specialist.
That's a lot of words.
It is. And it sounds more nefarious than it probably is.
Yeah. I mean, you've heard of job titles. This one's a job saga.
Yeah. It's an entire resume by itself. And Beauty and Discovery heading back above.
Comes back to Fabul, we'll be turning in this pan and hopefully finding some key items.
Yeah, this is a really interesting play here. Like it looks like if Sheila has anything at all, Beauty Discovery in the lead, at least among featured runners.
Well,
it's a tower key.
Keyless Tower isn't always the play, but Sheila does have the goods. We get the Adamant Rock, which represents a Forge, our Objective 5, and Excalibur for our Cecil, and only needing 2 more items to hit our go mode.
We do want to welcome in the Raiders from Moonblaze Wolf himself, one of the semi-finalists from the Fabul Gauntlet. Welcome everyone from Moonblaze's channel. We are playing Fabul Gauntlet Swiss round flags. We are about an hour in. My name is Sheep Launcher here with X Pancraz, and we need 5 objectives, all 3 bosses required, 2 for the boss hunt and 1 for D-Mist. We're in the overworld. The Legend Sword and Adamant Rock were found in the Pancheck and in Sheila 2, respectively. We don't know where the Darkness Crystal or Baron Key is yet, and we've had a really interesting ordeals. Valvalis blocking the hook, and the D-Mist going to Earth Crystal, going to Twin Harp, going to Magma Key.
It has been an ordeal for all of our runners, not just on this mountain. Triumphing over Plague at the Twin Harp spot, gaining our Magma Key. Triumphing over CPU at the Magus Stitcher spot, with just a Rosa as our damage. Well, and a Dragon Whip Rydia. And Beauty and Discovery is tired of that Valvalis, says, I'm not dealing with this, throws the spoon right at her face and gets through that fight.
Yeah, definitely not a boss you want to mess around with.
No, you've already messed around with it once or twice, you're tired of it. Like, you're having no more. I understand the play entirely. Sometimes you just gotta, just get through, no matter what.
And Dr. Luke giving Beauty and Discovery the lecture now. Yes, I know I have to eat better.
I don't wanna.
Garen getting the Zeus Gauntlet from Bahamut and leaving Antlion alone.
Another understandable play. Like we said, 10-foot pole. Keep it away. But we might have to. With Sheila giving 1 option, or rather 1 key item to chase, 1 key item of terminality, we still have 3 key item or 2 checks to do before that Antlion. The entirety of that tower. Keyless Tower is always the play until we get the tower key, and then the keyed tower is always the play.
Evil Tower. Clap.
Hopefully. It provides us with something to keep us away from that Antlion.
Yeah, we'll take anything rather than have to deal with that Antlion.
Luca key, sure. Turn doors on. I mean, yeah, sure. Still. Make it give the rat tail? Alright, yeah, this is great.
Fire Blizzard pointing out one of my favorite things about the tower as well, that there are 4 relatively easy trap chests, and still looking for the big stick for that Cecil and maybe some Hanzo Steel for that edge. Those trap chests might be worth looking into.
Although we also have the entirety of Forge, which Garen is about to go pick up the second half of. That represents a shiny sword with the Excalibur. The Forge shop might provide some Murasames as well for that edge. We also saw ninja swords for sale in the Fey March, I believe, if we ever have to go back to that Antlion. There is a whole wealth of power possibly waiting for us at Kokol's shop, if we can get down there. Or rather, when we get down there.
Garen picking up the goods from Sheila. And what do you do with an adamant rock in your kitchen?
I mean, it's like a pizza stone, right? Keep it in the oven.
I was thinking it's something you could sharpen your knives against.
Ah, that would work too, yeah. A whetstone sort of thing.
Yeah.
Or sharpen your spoons if need be. Chat also mentions a rolling pin.
Ooh.
I could see it.
Yeah.
It's like more of an ingot. Make it a little round. Yeah. Or it could just be like, a baking tray. Put the cookies on it. On the priceless piece of adamant, or then,
I'm sure
chocolate chip cookies.
I'm sure it conducts heat super well.
Oh, almost certainly. But it also conducts, or rather, excites the heat in Kokol, renews him with vigor as he prepares to go and, make that shiny stick and give us our 5th objective.
Sometimes I wish that I could be as easily persuaded as Kokol is. I'm never going to do anything else. Except now!
Well, I mean, I can understand waiting in bed until some sort of impetus acts on us to do an action. That happens all the time. And sometimes that's just exactly what you've been waiting for years and years. And other times it's, like the smell of bacon.
Bacon. Well, that's an interesting Coco shop. Artemis Bow, Crystal Ring, Life Staff, Defense Sword. Not the Hanzo Steel, but certainly worth selling a bunch to. That Crystal Ring, I think, is worth picking up, and Garen picking up an Artie Bow as well.
Yeah, both purchases make a lot of sense. We can keep Edward around as a functional, air quotes, party member with the Artemis Bow and the Samurai Arrows. He will do an amount of damage. The Crystal Ring as well, offering that dragon protection, offering agility manipulation to go with our Cursed Ring. That's, on face value, that shop doesn't scream like, buy me, but everything in it, you could make a case for it.
And the longer our runners go, the more the lack of checking waterfall kind of screams out at me. Garen, the only one of the featured runners to check the waterfall so far, and Beauty and Discovery and E-Ninja have both checked the Mist Cave, and found that demist, so at least for me, it would be easy for me to kind of check off once I've checked the Mist Cave. I've also necessarily checked the waterfall, and that would be a mistake if either of those runners were thinking that.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's very easy. Like you start your checks, you're looking for demist because demist has to be out there, and you find it on the first go. Like in that moment, it's very, very easy to forget that you have 2 boss hunt objectives. Maybe you're thinking, I raised the hovercraft already, or I'll check it when I raise the hovercraft, or something along those lines. Like it's very easy to slip out of it, or to have that check slip out of your mind and to have it just sit there waiting menacingly for you until the end of the game. Garen has 10 key items from all the travels around this globe, opting to steal sirens from the alerts in this lower level check.
Another good part about the trap chests here, sirens are able to be snuck. But that edge, living on the edge with 1 HP, and if you fail to sneak, you lose health. So Edge can die trying to steal.
Garen recognizes it after a fashion. Cast Cure 2 on the edge, make sure that Edge stays nice and safe. Continues stealing extravaganza. I wonder how many they're going to grab.
Now, what would your grinding strategy here be, Pancras?
With no darkness and staring down, possibly that antling, the sirens make a lot of sense. Grab a handful of them, not too many, knowing that you have the F Soya and an Excalibur. But, 3, 4, maybe 5 for luck.
Is it 5 your lucky number?
No.
Okay.
If we went off lucky numbers, I would be staying here until I have 17, and that's not going to happen. It's that simple,
well,
too many.
You know what I say? If you're not at level 99, you're not over-leveled.
True. There's always more experience to be had. And there's always more key item checks, as Beauty and Discovery finds out, getting a Masamune from the top of tower.
So Keyless Tower would not have been the play, although that is a very nice sword. But has not checked the cannon room yet.
We have one option left. One keep away to prevent walking back down to that antlion. And it's a Spark.
Well, we know it's either D-Lunars or Pale Dim. Either one, not an issue. Garen, I don't know if Garen ever went to ever defended Fabul. So healing up in case it's a wyvern down here, but we know it's not.
Yeah, it's just something that dies to one swing, whether that's from a Masa Assassin Edge or an Excal Cecil. Paladin falls on both of our bonus screens.
And we'll have to wait until the very end of the walk down in order to discover what item was here. But we get to see some nice fireworks in the meantime.
We love a good firework display.
Yeah, especially when it doesn't kill one of our party members.
Yeah, that's usually preferable. Usually. It's not quite as pretty and sparkly as the glowing Tower of Fabul display, but it'll do.
E-Ninja putting on some levels, taking on some of the trap chests in Evelyn Castle, has not discovered that Magma Key was going down, was at least checking out the hook route.
Yeah, opting to skip the Tower of Zot after the initial attempts at that CPU went awry. Don't blame him. And opting to grab a couple levels, grab a little bit of loot maybe, try to get Yawn. Actually, might be going back to Zot right now with some more levels in hand. Seems like it. Crystal Ring.
Ant Lion.
That's another way to say Crystal Ring.
Yeah.
At least in the context of this seed, we are staring down Ant Lion at the Leviathan spot to give us our progression, to give us our moon access, to give us our objective 3. Unless we've missed something, but I don't think we have.
So Mike Tyson had a saying which was, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Ant Lion will punch you in the mouth. So
That's his plan.
That's his plan. So you gotta come up with something.
It's going to be a lot of punches straight to the mouth, a lot of needles flying, a lot of nukes, I'm sure, being cast from this Fusoya to try and do some damage. And hopefully, a lot of our runners in tonight's race getting through this.
Yeah, it is a real test of steel.
Yeah, it is not a pleasant fight. It is not a fast fight. Especially without having the option, or rather the sirens that Garen has stolen. Beauty is opting to go with the levels that he has right now. He's just gonna go for it. See what happens. Garen has the option to go grab, I don't know how many sirens they stole, but upwards of 200,000 experience, which will speed up the fight quite a bit.
Yes, that'll be very nice. And so how much HP does Antlion have at this spot?
37,000? 35,000? One of those numbers.
Yeah, 37,000 hard scaly HP.
And it's about 37,000 attack power as well, punching that edge for 670 in the back row. Fusoya for 2,500 in the front row. He is not walking that one off.
No. No, clean up in aisle 3.
Yep. Gonna need a mop for the mop.
And Edge will dart anything that's not nailed down here.
Dragoon Spear, it's gone. White Spear, it's gone. Anything else that we've got, it's gone. Gungnir, gone. Do as much damage as you can. This, perfectly acceptable use of everything. If we still had the spoon, that would be gone.
Yeah.
It's already gone, but it would be twice as gone.
Yeah, the Beauty Discovery might call up Val on the phone. Hey, can we borrow that spoon back?
Please. Well, it looks like Beauty is opting for a little bit of a cover strategy here. Keeps Cecil alive, keeps Fusoya at low hit points. Oh no, Berserk's that Cecil. Never mind. Disregard everything I just said. We are doing damage. We will continue doing damage until this Antlion is gone.
Cecil cannot Berserk and cover at the same time. He's the man, but he's not Superman.
Yeah. He's just one man. He can't do two-man things. But he can do the damage of two-man sometimes.
Yeah. Now, the only saving grace is that the counters are not as lethal as the regular punches from Antlion.
They are definitely coming in addition to those punches. There will be a lot of damage flying, and having the two blink casters in Rosa and Fusoya will definitely be helpful. Assuming that they can survive.
Yeah, starting to get a little bit iffy on the HP. That Cure 3 coming out just in time. And Jaybrun will discover his disappointing tower.
Oh boy, another one. Meanwhile, it looks like Garen did steal 7 Sirens total. He's going to have a comfortable HP threshold on all of his members, for all of their party members.
While these various slogs are going, do want to thank our restreamer Asuka, who rolled this seed, by the way.
Yay!
I'm not gonna cast aspersions, but just giving you the information. And fire you, Blizzard, for keeping track of all of this. And when it came down to how rude this seed has been, didn't it kind of figure that Antlion and the Leviathan spot would be hard required?
We knew in our heart of hearts that there was only one path, but you have to at least pretend and try to believe that you can circumvent it.
So looking ahead, assuming Antlion is the Darkness Crystal or leads us there, there are some rude bosses that are still out there that could also gate that Baron Key, which is going to be required.
Oh yeah. We have not seen Rubicant if he chooses to show up at a high magic attack spot.
We haven't seen Kainatsu.
Have not seen Kainatsu. Have not seen Baigen. Have not seen Golbez either. And our last Sparkle outstanding is the D-Lunars, which is not weak to Excalibur.
If Beauty and Discovery is through, and darkness is his pillow.
Woohoo, darkness.
And that means the Baron Key is on the moon somewhere. Or behind the rat tail on them, which is on the moon.
It's on the moon by proxy.
Yep.
Perhaps once removed, perhaps twice removed. But it is 100% gated by that.
Antlion is homesick for his home moon planet.
Crystal Sword Altar, Mississippi.
And Beauty and Discovery making the play to the waterfall.
Oh, yeah.
Great job by him.
We saw Jaybrun do something similar earlier as well, picking up that water hack and not forgetting. Keeping that in the back of your mind. Fully understandable, especially now that with the darkness in hand, knowing that you are sitting at 3 objectives without the water hag, might as well make sure, wrap up, tie off any loose ends left on Earth, and then go to the moon and see what's up there.
Yeah, and I'm sure for Beauty, he wants one trip to the moon, right?
Oh yeah, ideally. Especially without, 2 trips, because we don't have the pass in hand yet. But no more than 2 if you can get away with it. And hopefully we can. The rat tail is a tempting save scum if you find it on the moon real quick. Just, come back, exit out, come back, turn it in. If it's not exactly the Baron Key, reset, go back. If it is the Baron Key, oh, you're so big brain. Congratulations.
And Beauty going to turn his battle speed back down to 1 and head into space.
Woo, space.
Oh, you know what else we haven't seen yet, Agraz?
The All Gauntlet.
We have not seen the All Gauntlet.
And there is a number of rude spots that it can be on that moon. Namely, all of them, but...
All of it. but especially the Ogopogo spot with evil masks.
Especially that one, especially the Crystal Sword one. Both of those. Like, the White Spear and the Ribbon Rooms are gross, yes, but they're, like, manageably gross. They're understandably gross. You can get through them. There are options, everything. You can Hourglass, you can Coffin the Trickers. It's great. But those two spots, oh boy.
And Beauty and Discovery, all of a sudden, one objective away, knows what he has to do, and will be an interesting play if it's not readily apparent. Is there always value in Cave Bahamut? Do you go top down or bottom up? Do you go chasing that rat tail? Got to be thinking of all these possibilities.
And all those options, like, you can make a strong argument for any of them. You only need one key item, so try to avoid rewalking the entire LST twice. You only need one item, so go to where they're most dense. You only need one item, so chase anything that gives you a key item.
And Beauty and Discovery, remembering what's in Kaipo, and is stocking up on Star Veils.
Very smart, knowing that Golbez is still out there, knowing that Asura is still out there, if you need to double veil to get through her.
And Garen right behind Beauty and Discovery, and also summoning that whale. So we're about an hour 24 in. Do want to remind you there are 9 runners overall. We don't have a finisher yet, so a rude seed for everyone, and our runners doing a very good job getting through it.
Definitely, it has been rudeness at every turn, from our starting party to our starting boss placements to just the most slog-filled fights that you could have in certain spots. Our runners have done a fantastic job at getting through it all, and now converging, trying to find that last key item that they need at this point. But first, in the whale.
And I thought it spelled bad on the outside.
Oh boy, well, do we have a surprise for you? Well, we also have one more surprise, another rendition of our harp music coming from E-Ninja's side.
There's Kane.
Hey, at long last.
What a
He
twist.
does exist. It's not quite the giant, but...
And Garen and Beauty and Discovery having their little bit of divergence. Garen checking out the Bahamut spot and gonna take it on.
Yeah, it looks like just Leviathan. Nothing too scary there. Pretty low
Yeah.
magic spot, low hit points comparatively. Should just be able to blitz it down.
Should be just fine. There are spots up on the moon where Leviathan very, very scary with those ice 2 counters, but not a big deal here.
And we are seeing, in real time, both those options that we outlined. We've got Garen going for the top-down approach, starting in Cave Bahamut, and then likely going to go into the LST, check that Murra, check everything, try to minimize the walking. Beauty opting for the high-density plays. And possibly a couple more dangerous bosses.
And Leviathan getting put in the microwave, which frankly is kind of antisocial behavior from Garen. You don't want to put an eel in the microwave.
No, not usually. You don't want to put anything in the microwave if you can avoid it. Especially if it's, living.
Yeah, but like, if you're eating fish in the office.
Yeah. No, I don't want to go and reheat day-old salmon and stink the place up.
Nope.
That's just impolite. Might taste good, but it's impolite.
Ooh, and a rude boss for Beauty.
Although not so much at this spot. Low magic at the Crystal Sword altar. This Rubicon isn't going to do a whole bunch of damage.
That's a big stick.
Garen Cecil is going to do a whole bunch of damage, though.
Well, while our runners look for that last piece of the puzzle, we do have a first-place finisher. Antidale finishes in first place with a time of 1:26.56. GG's to Antidale, a very good time for how rude this seed has been.
Definitely navigating the rudeness well, coming out as the victor. Big GG's to Antidale.
Antidale doing so much for the community, and every so often he just has to show that he is still in the top tier of runners. Just to show the whippersnappers what's up.
Can't have people forgetting about the legend.
Beauty taking that leg to task there. Jabrun taking on that Antlion. Ninja is underground now. Jabrun has voided every chance to take on that harp. Fading harp, even though he didn't know that was an option.
Doesn't even know that the harp is a key item in the seed. Instead, completely skips the vanilla D-Mist entirely, I think. Doesn't have the crystal marked, so...
Yeah.
Not falling into the trap of the vanilla magma key, or near vanilla magma key. But does have to get through this antlion to find more to do in the seed. Beauty Discovery gets through that Rubicon, finds just a package for his troubles, along with a hefty pile of experience, admittedly.
Yeah, that's the reason why he's not resetting out of that. The package, not any use to him.
Ninja buys 99 carats. Thank you, Ninja. Somebody had to. It's much appreciated.
Ninja doing the thing. For the love and the laughs.
Speaking of laughs.
Ah!
You made him appear. Sitting at this Murasame altar, Garen finds Golbez.
Yeah,
the comedy begins.
The top-down chuckle hut Golbez is featuring. And Beauty and Discovery kind of going middle out, but more of a bottom up here will avoid the funny man for a little bit.
Yeah, seems to be trying or opting for that Crystal Sword altar first. I'm not sure if that's, just Beauty and Discovery style, but might be thinking with how long the CPU and Plague fights had taken, we need to do something in order to try and find a way back into the seed. Skip a couple checks, get something strong, try to get a podium finish. Finds a vanilla D-Loop.
Yeah, we had a couple of instances of vanilla early on, but we haven't seen one for a while. But it continues to be the finest of the flavors. D-Lunar's here. Shouldn't be, with these levels, should be able to be taken care of. If nothing else, Beauty does have a stack of Star Veils and can do Lunar Frog Stress.
Exactly. And with the damage that we're putting out, just one nuke from food doing 5,000, probably going to want to throw up some Star Veils. This fight's going to be a little bit slow, a little bit dangerous otherwise, with the damage output that our party has. Beauty and Discovery doesn't have that Crystal Sword that Garen picked up from the Leviathan to do, quad 9s to these D-Lunars and just zerg through it. Doesn't have a whole bunch of levels on Rydia to, do big AoE damage or have two sources of AoE damage. It's gonna be slow going, but hopefully, if they're frogs, it'll speed up a little bit.
And they are both frogs. So, if the breath attack from D-Lunars does what? Frog, mini, silence, confusion, all the status effects, and the at least for our purposes, the one that really matters for D Lunar is the frog. So if you reflect it back on them, they don't have the frog immunity, so they turn into frogs.
Yeah. Breath does not check for the boss bit, it just happens. And thus, frog.
And then the D Lunars will try and cast virus, but of course, we know that frogs can only cast frogs.
Yep. And if you have any doubts that they can cast frog, talk to Toad Lady. She'll enlighten you.
Garen did make it through that Golbez, but is heading back down. Golbez did not have what Garen was looking for.
No, just a gold apple, it seemed. Helpful HP, but not the Baron key that we're looking for in order to get the crystal and get through the seed.
I guess Golbez was dressing up as the wicked godmother.
Yeah. No magic mirror needed. That's a rat tail. From...
Tempting.
I think I'd reset and check it. That sounds fun.
Yeah, who wants to go for a ride on the whale again? Maybe you can maybe you can do another objective if you raise the big whale again.
Oh, that will go great. I mean, you know, if I raise the big whale 2, 3, 4 times, like, that counts as 4 objectives, right?
I see no flaw with this plan.
Me neither. Small flaw with Baigen at the White Spear altar. Not a pleasant fight. One of the ones that we touched on earlier.
Yeah. Will leave more than a small flaw in your face if you let him.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier, Antlion's plan is punch you in the face. Baigen's plan is punch you in the face 3 times.
Yeah, let me introduce you to my right and left arms.
This one's
That's
a
what
snake.
Baigen said. And Beauty does get one nuke off against the body before that ball comes up.
Yeah, you get 1, then the counters begin. But we're now well set up to start slinging quakes as Rydia gets paralyzed. Not something you see a whole lot. The hold spell landing. But at least we've got quick. Take those arms out all in one go. Take that body out all in a lot of goes.
So another thing that I was thinking about, the quote-unquote free bosses, there are none left, really.
Just Baron guards, I think.
Just Baron guards, yeah. Because we know King Queen Evelyn is in Baron Castle, which will not be required to go through.
Yep, we saw the karate at the King Queen spot. I guess Dark Knight Cecil is still out there as well. Although if Dark Knight Cecil's at the Masa altar, oh boy, that hurts.
Yeah. I don't consider that free.
A lot of rude bosses are still out there, available on this moon. And we found a couple so far. D Lunars, Baigen, Golbez. Ruby and Leviathan would have been rude. They were thankfully put at more kind spots.
That's a Luca key.
That's our last gating key item other than that Baron key. We have access to everything that might have the Baron key at this point.
Yeah.
So depending on what's at this Ogopogo spot, we might be going to check that pretty soon.
And in fact, among all the runners on stream, we have an idea of what everything contains except for this Ogopogo spot. Our runners will presumably crisscross a little bit, but we will know after Beauty and Discovery tangles with what is here.
We only have 5 total key item checks left. Is that a pause? That's a pause. That's a pause. That's an evil mask.
This
That
is the alt gauntlet.
is the Ogopogo spot alt gauntlet.
Yes.
And there it is, the exit cast. We talked about antlion with a 10-foot pole. This is more like you don't want to be on the moon anymore. If you can avoid walking past that, you will. Like, don't let me fight that. Keep that away. We're going back to Earth and chasing this rat tail, Luca Key. And, I understand.
But will it be required anyway? That is the question.
Well, antlion was. So, it's like we've had looming wyverns, we've had looming newspapers, we've got a looming alt gauntlet sitting there. That evil mask is staring into the depths of your soul and saying,
yes.
Come on, you know what's going to have to happen.
Yeah, that is Chekhov's gauntlet. Like, it has to be used in the third act.
We are rapidly approaching that third act. Only two other spots that might be the bailout.
Don't you love it when a decision gets made for you and the rat tail is the bear
rat tail saves. My decision was right. You leave the moon. Save scum. But Beauty and Discovery's decision is also right. Skips out on that alt gauntlet. Is saved the trouble and the nukes and white casts and heat rays that it entails. And will be our first on-screen or on-restream runner in Go mode once this Barren Sewer is unlocked.
Yes, and I believe with the Moon experience, doesn't need to do really much of any grinding for this
we're pretty
fight.
Close to good levels. I believe mid-40s. And with an Excal Cecil with a Masa something edge. And with Fusoya, of course. It's probably enough, probably being the keyword.
And Beauty still going for first place on the stream here. Behind the scenes, we do have a second place finisher, Rybon, finishing in second place with a time of 1:38.19.
GG's to Rybon. And of course, speaking behind the scenes, we also have our behind the scenes crew in this race. Oscar424 rolling this gem of a seed and putting all these fun bosses in these fun spots. Fiery Blizzard keeping all of us honest with their excellent job tracking. And of course, thank you, Sheep, for joining me here in the booth tonight.
And thank you, X Pancras, for bringing the humor and the knowledge. And one more little bit of insult for these runners. Nobody has the pass. 17 out of 17, no pass.
Nope, no pass. You do not get to pass go. You do not get to go to Troya. You must pass by that alt gauntlet spot once again, knowing that it is there and waiting.
Yeah, this really has been quite a delight to revisit the flags of the Fabul Gauntlet tournament, originally in 2020. Some of these runners might not have even known what it was at the time, but they're getting a fistful of the Fabul Gauntlet flags. It really is a delight.
And of course, one more thing that we've noticed. No sirens were for sale in this scene.
Although that edge was available in Dwarf Castle.
You can steal them, but you can't buy them. You don't get the nice, easy way out to get through that Leviathan or that alt gauntlet. You gotta work for those sirens. And Jabrun not wanting to work it out with a Golbez, doesn't want to hear the laughs. Resets. Gonna head to the bottom. And Garen is gonna get the news.
Jay Brun's wondering, he's funny how? How's he fun?
Yeah, I don't know. He tells jokes. I don't like his jokes. Get him off stage.
E-Ninja showing the warp spell in Dwarf Castle, so there is a glitch in the original game where you can warp to get into the crystal room that's normally in the sealed cave. The warp glitch is turned off for these flags, so was not able to pilfer that item.
Wonder what it is in Luca Cave. So Zonk or the pass. There's only two options.
And look at Garen taking on this Alt Gauntlet.
Oh, Crystal Sword Cecil in hand. A lot of levels already from those 7 sirens that Garen stole back on Earth. It's a ambitious... No, not really even ambitious. It's a, strong attempt to do something that other runners aren't going to do. Because who wants to do the Alt Gauntlet at the Ogopogo spot? You've got the levels.
Behemoths.
You've got the levels. You know that only 2 people have finished if you're keeping an eye on the race room. It's a little bit of a gamble, but it might be one that pays off. We know it doesn't, but maybe in another universe it does.
And maybe it's the pass.
Maybe. That would be cool.
That'd be cool. That'd be really neat. But Beauty and Discovery making that long walk down and going to fight the big bad guy at the end, Zeromus. We can't move Zeromus around, Pancraz. Can we? Can we do that yet?
Not yet. We could try, but it doesn't work out very well. Something about, big bangs at Antlion Cave, too much damage, 300 spell power. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of underhead.
But
instead,
instead
he gets to sit here in the Crystal Palace, waiting for the adventurers with the crystal in hand to descend the lunar core and see what he's all about.
And he gets to dress up. And we get to ask the question, whose butt are we going to kick tonight?
Cue the theme music, cue the crystal toss.
It really is terrific final boss theme music. You really know that you're at the final boss, and I'm glad that gets kept in the randomizer as well.
Definitely. We've had talks of changing music around, and other than the Twin Harp, I feel like it detracts a little bit. Like, if you suddenly started hearing the theme of love here at Zeromus, you wouldn't get to hear the fun, grating tones of Neonimus.
Well, yeah, Zeromus is underneath a blacklight.
It's vaporwave style, he's re-embracing the 80s, bringing the style back. Is that 80s? I don't know. I'm too young.
That nuke going on the Cecil in the middle, not a bad target there. And Garen has one more fight to go in this. 2 red dragons. With these levels, should be okay, but always scary to face these down.
Sitting at 4,250 hit points on Cecil. Crystal Sword in hand. Should be able to take him out. Knock on wood.
Big Bang does get nerfed. Cecil in the middle does not survive it for Beauty.
It's going to be rough. It seems like we are operating with an RH2 Zeromus, anchoring with a 28-ish agility Cecil, and throwing the Silk Web to further slow down Zeromus. But taking the counter nuke and barely dying to that Big Bang is going to make things a little tricky in this mid-fight.
Yeah, we'll have to scramble a little bit. It just goes to show you that no matter how many times you fight Zeromus, this is still a hard final boss, and it's never easy.
Especially if the targeting doesn't work out. Like, your eggs all in one basket, Cecil eats the counter nuke, eats a high roll Big Bang, and dies. It can be a lot of work to recover it.
But, recover he has.
He tries to prepare the Thor Rage to nerf this Big Bang. A little tricky timing with it being RA2, but I think that'll work out.
Yeah, definitely not doing it for the 8 damage.
And the counter nuke gets Cecil a second time.
Zeromus has a crush.
Yeah. Well, no, this is an evil one.
Garen gets the ribbon for it.
Well, nice hat. But not the pass, and not the Baron key.
It looks good on you.
Yeah, well, I'll try. And that does mean the entire room, or moon rather, is done for Garen. There is only 2 options remaining for that Baron key. We have the Rat Tail, we have the Luke key. We know where it will be.
Yep. And we know where Garen will check first.
This fight restabilizing. Black Hole comes out from the Animus. We begin arguing the Cure 4, Cure 3, Berserk. Just getting the damage going again. Cecil needs to be swinging that sword.
Yeah, the Black Hole will buy Beauty and Discovery a little bit of time. We'll have to reestablish walls if the hybrid strats want to come back out, reestablish the Berserks, but also gives a little bit of time to cure up everyone.
Definitely. If we have any more darts with Edge unberserked, we can throw a couple of them. Not sure we do. I believe Beauty darted all of them at that Antlion.
Antlion, yeah. Yeah, Antlion is a pincushion right now.
Oh, yeah.
Garen
There's that
gets
Baron
very
key.
key. Yeah.
Finds the rhyme, finds the reason, turns in the pink tail as well. We'll be getting their crystal momentarily. Oh.
Also another dart.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Looks like Beauty did have 1 dart. There goes that defense sword. Where was that from?
Oh, that was from that was the other item from the D-Lunars from the Ribbon
Oh,
Room,
the ribbon room.
along with
of
Rat
course.
Tail.
Well, convenient. 4,500 damage comes out.
Mm-hmm. Always nice to have one of those in your back pocket.
And it looks like on that Cecil swing, we did tip to the refill. We had a big pause between his swing and Rosa's action. So, probably not going to see a big bang after that shake. More time to cure up, but also more time to throw a Thor Rage.
I'm gonna try and get that next big bang nerfed. Edge goes down. At least it's not targeted Cecil either.
I believe Beauty has the news now. That was a fake shake. And now, we gotta prep once again another nerf. Or you just believe in Rosa. It's another option, but a more dangerous option.
And that nuke will go against Rosa. She weathers it.
But here comes the big bang.
Uh-oh, right on top of it.
Surviving with just a sliver, and then taken out from underneath. The sliver goes, Rosa falls, Cecil continues to swing, and Fu still stands, thankfully.
Can Beauty work a kind of Fu and Friends starring Cecil kind of strategy here?
Well, fingers crossed. Here comes a nuke after that black hole. Hopefully, it will target Fu and he can dodge enough rolls to survive. Well,
That was a
works
really,
out. That's very
really
close.
nice. Yeah. That was a really kind nuke there.
Yep, and Silk Web thrown at the start of this fight is giving plenty of time to try and get back up. Recover from that strong Big Bang nuke cycle that happens at the start of this phase.
Jabrun, meanwhile, tangling with Leg. E-Ninja getting counting lessons from Bahamut. And Garen making that walk.
Just a couple more rooms to go. Won't have to worry about that Ogopogo alt gauntlet jumping out and biting him, or biting them.
So I think it's official that the pass had to be behind that Luca key.
Or in Baron Castle itself.
I guess, yes, you're right. Two chances to get it from Baron Castle itself.
But in any of those cases, probably not worth grabbing. Just a little too much time to do either of those checks.
Yeah. Luca Cave, not as much time as you would think, but it does take more time than just walking down the moon.
Yeah, more than you'd think, less than you'd expect. Or vice versa on those verbs.
Again, Beauty hanging in there, but Rosa taking that wombo combo, the nuke, into Big Bang, and the HP just a little bit dicey, but the Cure 4 coming out and stabilizing again.
Who's low on HP or MP, but that might have been the Meteor tip. Yep, there it is, the flash on Neon Musk. The rocks begin to fall. Beauty and Discovery is in the final phase of this fight.
We were talking about gumption and stick-to-itiveness. Beauty and Discovery has been showing that all throughout this race, and again with Neon Musk, and just about there.
Come on, just a little more. There
He's
it
done
is.
It. Beauty in Discovery finishes in third place with an official time of 1:53.23. GG's. What a race from Beauty and Discovery.
100%. We saw many times in that race slog fights happening on Beauty and Discovery's side, and they stuck through it, continued fighting, continued going through things, and is rewarded at the end of it all, after a long, grueling Z fight with the podium finish in third place. We are joined by Beauty and Discovery. GG's on a well-run race.
Thank you very much. I would say the whole seed was grueling. Thank you very much.
100%.
Yeah, that's the word for it.
Something gross.
I'm just glad Value wasn't behind that gauntlet. I took one look and I'm like, I'm willing to throw it all away to not fight that thing. Let me out of here.
Well, I think the word to describe your play throughout was really gumption. You had a couple of fights there that you just slogged your way through. What were your thoughts, especially on that CPU in the tower?
CPU, I didn't see a way through it. We really didn't have anything to cut through the wall, and I had just about everything. About halfway through the fight, I figured at least moving my back row attackers in the front row hopefully would do a little more damage to the orb, kind of off balance it, but yeah, I just kind of I knew it was free. I could get through it. It was just going to take forever, I think more than anything, I was really disappointed in not getting through Val that first time because I thought maybe if I have enough arrows, but it just didn't play out.
And do you want to know what was behind that alt gauntlet? We were able to find out up here.
Sure, maybe pass. I mean, that's all I didn't have, I guess, unless it was a zonk.
Yeah, it was a ribbon.
It was a. Yeah, I think I would have been ultra annoyed if I had sat through that thing because I guarantee the dragon fight was absolutely atrocious. Also, I'm curious, did anyone find Bacchus wines?
Yes, Bacchus wines and the Leviathan summon were both for sale on the hook rack.
Shoot. Oh, wow.
Well, walk us through that Z fight. It was improvisational for you, it seemed like.
I was very happy to have checked the shop and found that Silk Web. It made it a lot easier because I think my worry was if I have to split slows and berserks, I'm going to be all the more in trouble because, Cecil at 28, not the fastest party with Fu not being terribly fast. I knew it was going to be a bit of a slog, and I think I just got really lucky. Got a somewhat decent target on one of the nukes that took Rydia down, I believe. And got a little lucky with some targeting, really, and just I knew towards the end that as much as I wanted Fu to do damage, he was really going to have to join Rosa with the healing, and so I think with those two things going together, I was able to make it happen, and thank goodness I didn't miss any of my nerfs, because there were so many nerfs that I had to do.
Oh yeah, the nerf timings were excellent all around. There was just the one where you got fake shaked when you tipped to the refill phase, but even that would have been on time.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty terrible at counting, so I usually fall for the fake shake pretty hard.
Yeah, it was a very fast Zeromus, and the Silk Web definitely, like, a huge pickup for that. Like, especially with the recovery phases, it saved your bacon, and it was great. It was a great find and a great usage to, like, go and check for it. I imagine you might have also been looking for Sirens for a couple extra levels, but the Silk Web is a good replacement.
Yeah, Sirens would have been a little nice, but I think by the time I was up on the moon, I kind of had a feeling that moon bosses were going to be my grind, which is why I sat through that package at Crystal, and I went to the Ribbon Room first. I was like, okay, let me just grind on these bosses here. That'll be the end of it, and I'll be done. And I felt like that got me enough.
Definitely. Although there was a giant pile of experience at that overflow spot.
I know, but I guess I got to make some sort of sacrifice.
Well, what do you think of the Fabul Gauntlet Swiss rounds? The tournament was a couple of years ago. Now, did you have some experience with the flags before this, and what did you think of them?
I did not. I want to say I kind of first started watching for Enterprise and ZZ3, took a little bit of a break, and then came back around ZZ4, or just before ZZ4, which would have been Adamant Cup. So I wasn't around during Swiss Flag, so this was kind of neat. T standard is a thing. It is rough to read loot. I'm so used to either wild or wildish, or at least pro. You kind of go into it, but T standard definitely had a bit of a flavor of pro to it. It was a little hard to kind of pick up gear, and I definitely felt like overlooted. But at the same time, yeah, really enjoyed it. Kind of felt really reminiscent of what Free Enterprise has become, and pretty interesting to see some flags like dupes or kind of limitations to the character pool thrown out. And Foo's available, Cecil's available. Heck, if I found 2, I could have had 2 Cecils. Not that I would have quit the other one, right?
Well, I mean, Cape Bahamut had a crystal sword and to go along with that X-Cal, so you could have equipped 2 Cecils if they existed.
Yeah, I guess I was also really glad I remember that it was just standard forge, because I was a little disappointed what I had for Cecil, and then when I picked up that Adamant, I'm like, oh wait a minute, that's my Cecil weapon. I'm all good.
An X-Cal in the hand is worth 3 crystal swords in Evelyn Castle.
Wait, are you serious? Was there 3?
No, there were 0 crystal swords in Evelyn Castle. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, that was a bit of a hard decision. I'm like, do I fade Evelyn Castle? I was like, nah, X-Cal's good enough. Forget it.
X-Cal is 100% good enough, and you put it to good use in this scene.
Thank you.
Well, any other questions, Pankraz, for Beauty and Discovery?
I've got nothing myself. We're glad, of course, that you enjoyed the flag set, and hopefully enjoyed the seed in whatever sense of enjoyment you could have gotten from it.
Yeah, thank you very much. Very much enjoyed it, and thank you very much, Sheep Launcher and Pankraz, for the commentary, Fiery Blizzard on tracking, and Asuka for restreaming. Very much appreciate the show that you all put on, and thank you for having me.
Of course, thank you for allowing us to feature it, and GG's again on your finish.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
And Beauty and Discovery came in just ahead of Tybalt in 4th place with a time of 1:53.27, and coming in 5th place, as you saw on the stream, Garen with a time of 1:56.56, and we are joined by Garen now. GG's.
GG everyone. Thank you.
So that was a really grueling kind of trolley rough seed. What did you think of the whole thing?
I was wondering what we did to hurt Asuka so much. I mean, we're sorry, really.
Oh, Asuka does it because she loves us.
Yeah, she just appreciates a hefty dose of chaos,
That was really power underwhelming into power overwhelming.
Yeah, you really cleared the moon to get that crystal sword, which that Zeromus kind of disappeared in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, it was pretty easy of a Z fight at the end.
But it's getting to the Z fight. That's where all the mountains and roadblocks and everything lied. Walk us through a little bit about like your early game approach and how things shook out in this seed specifically.
Well, I mean, that's one of the worst 3 characters to start with, especially when you have a lot of tough bosses early.
100%, 100%.
So I was just trying to figure out, so where am I going to have power to actually do this? I don't know if I missed anything along the way, but I was like, arrow and rope, please, somewhere.
Yeah, and there were just a whole bunch of places in the overworld to butt your head against. Wyvern in Fabul, Valvalis on Ordeals. What were your thoughts as you were kind of going around the overworld trying to find a foothold?
Yeah, bashing the head against the wall for sure. Then, of course, I knew the hook couldn't be the only one underground because Val, so it's like, okay, where's Magma? And of course, it'd be, what, Zod into Twin Harp?
And of course, the Vanilla D-Nest.
Yeah, hiding at the the vanilla spots. Yeah, so.
And so we got to ask, you were fully intent on clearing out the entire moon, including the alt gauntlet at the Ogopogo spot.
It's when you don't clear it that says when the Baron key is there.
Oh, if only. If only. That was a nice hat, though.
Did you equip it?
Yes, actually I did.
Hey, all right, cool. We got some use out of it, at least.
And you got some nice experience with Yogg almost at 6,000 HP, right?
Yeah, the sirens were a little bit unnecessary in the end, weren't they?
They helped enough to get through some of those mid-game spikes. You know, having that extra
Mostly the
200...
ant lion who's guarding the darkness crystal. It's like, that's one of the worst ones to see there, too.
Oh, 100%. That was kind of the story of the seed, was like, at every turn, what's the worst thing that could be at this spot? Boom, it's there. Antlion, well, here you go, you have to do it. Plague at, well, you had Nuke for the Plague at Twin Heart, but that one was also nasty. The CPU at the Magus Sister spot, gating your access to the first functional character in the seed, in the Fusoya. It was a fantastic job navigating through all those roadblocks and getting through this seed.
Yeah, watching it bash should be fun for sure.
So, before this, what's been your experience with the Fabul Gauntlet flags? It's been a little bit since this tournament was run. Were you familiar with it? Was it good to revisit these flags?
I think I remember running in the tournament. I didn't make it past the opening stage, but I don't remember liking these flags too much, and I remember why now.
Well, I mean, there's always a difference between these flags in general and these flags rolled by Asuka, right?
Well, that can be said of anyone rolling the seeds, I mean.
All right, Garen. Well, you did really well running this seed. Any final thoughts on this seed or on these flags or about anything else?
No, it was fun. It was very tough, but it was fun.
We are glad that you enjoyed this blast from the past, Fabul Gauntlet Swiss route, and thank you for joining us tonight.
All right, good night, guys.
Of course, have a good night. See you around.
And E Ninja had to forfeit, but E Ninja will join us for an interview, and in fact is joining us right now. GG's.
Yeah, that was a seed.
It sure was. It just piled up the roadblocks one after another. You really showed some stick-to-itiveness just trying to get a foothold in the scene.
Yeah. There was a lot of there's a lot of hurdles in that seed.
So I wanted to ask about the flags in general. Do you were you around when the original Fabul Gauntlet tournament was going on? Do you remember these flags? What did you think about them?
Actually, I actually started doing the free enterprise like a couple months before Lally Ho League. It started with basic flags, slightly advanced, and then a certain guy named Martin, he's like, you got to try the Fabul Gauntlet flags. So I did those about a month before Lally Ho League.
And yeah, T standard is really a thing.
Yes, it is. But no, yeah, he, like I said, he kind of pushed me into doing tournaments and stuff. So, and I mean, I knew the flags. I had done them for like almost a month before Lally Ho, but I haven't done them since Lally Ho.
Pankraz, any questions for E Ninja?
Oh, I've got nothing. Hopefully, this seed's experience doesn't stop you from participating in the next sets of this flag set. This one was rude. There's no debating that. There's nothing about that. But good job going through what you did. It was an ordeal, and
I got your carrots.
I saw that. I appreciated it. 4,950 gold, well spent.
Yeah.
And Pankraz gasped when he saw that.
I saw it 3 other times, passed by all the runners.
Oh yeah, I was like,
one
no.
person stayed and bought some carrots.
Yep.
Well, thanks for letting us showcase you, E Ninja, and we'll see you around the next time.
Yep. Y'all have a good night. Thank you, Sheep Launcher and Pankraz for comms, Oscar for the restream, and Fire Blizzard for the tracking.
And thank you for joining us tonight. Hopefully the watch back is enlightening.
Yep. You have a good night.
You as well.
And Jay Brunter finishing in 7th place. Let me get the time on that.
That'll be a time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, 8 seconds.
Yeah.
GG's to Jay Bruntier. He will not be joining us tonight for an interview. But
yeah, and the other finisher, Cubs Rule 21, finished in 6th place with a time of 1:58.04. GG's to Cubs Rule as well.
GG's to all of our runners tonight, on restream and off. This was a ordeal of a seed, and they have all done a fantastic job navigating through it.
Yeah, it was really a lot of fun to watch. We always have to remember that it often is just as much fun to play, but sometimes not.
Sometimes not. Although this seed probably would have been fun for a little bit.
Oh yeah. Well, you can head into the race room and pull it up for yourself if you are so inclined. You want to kind of test your own mettle there.
Yep, the seed will be available on our RaceBot stat sites in the Discord, so on. You can ask around, you can take it. You'll be a little spoiled by this restream, but, well, just pretend that you saw nothing, except for hearing all of the wonderful things that we had to say, surely.
Well, you should be more than pretending, you should be watching. More Free Enterprise tomorrow on the Free Enterprise channel at 3 p.m. Eastern. It's Baron's Hero's Journey. Always a really fun flag set and a fine way to spend your Saturday. So join us on the Free Enterprise channel for that.
Definitely. This week we'll be featuring well, I won't go too much into it. We'll leave it as a surprise. But there will be a lot of fun tomorrow afternoon, and there is more fun for all of you tonight. We are done here on this channel at Free Enterprise 2, but we've got more Free Enterprise action. We are heading on over to Geno Bean, playing some more Free Enterprise, finishing out the race. It's going to be an exciting time.
Yeah, thanks once again to our tracker, Fiery Blizzard. Thanks to Asuka, our restreamer. Thank you, X Pancraz. And I have been Sheep Launcher, and for all of us, so long.
And don't spoil anything.